I should say a few words about why the Observer Research Foundation has started this lecture series called Gurus of Science. The idea of starting this lecture series it occurred to me during my interactions with Professor Lane and Professor Mashelkar. Both of them immediately blessed the idea and agreed to be the patrons of this series. Dr. Mashelkar also agreed to deliver the second lecture in the series. The purpose of this lecture series is closely linked to ORF's motto, which is Ideas and Action for a Better India. Our foundation is engaged in the study and advocacy of ideas that can make a difference. Now, who can deny the power of science and technology to make a difference? Science and technology have been playing a big role in creating a better future for India and the world. Our first Prime Minister, Jawaharlal Nehru, made an insightful comment on the role of scientists in nation building. He said, in any society, scientists are a minority who are in league with the future. Scientists are a minority who are in league with the future. We at ORF felt that we should serve as a platform for eminent scientists to have a dialogue with the wider society on how they visualize the future. As a public policy think tank, we believe that interactions with leading thinkers, practitioners in science and technology help us in understanding issues in policy and issues in implementation of policy. Friends, there is really no need for me to introduce Dr. Mashelkar to this audience. Suffice it to say that he is one of the great scientists who not only made a mark internationally in his field, that's chemistry, but also showed almost unrivaled leadership qualities in turning around India's largest scientific research complex, CSIR group of 40 laboratories. As the Director General of CSIR for close to a decade, he succeeded in the impossible task of making CSIR shed its Sarkari culture. Under his leadership, first at the National Chemical Laboratories, NCL, Pune, and later at CSIR, there was a quantum jump in the number of scientific and industrial patents that Indian scientists and technologies filed globally. I had the privilege of interacting very closely with Dr. Mashelkar during my 6 years in the Prime Minister's office. I learned a lot from him and also came to admire his dynamism and his vision. I particularly remember his presidential address at the National Science Congress session in Pune. I think it was 2000. It certainly ranks among the most inspiring and illuminating presidential addresses in the long history of Indian Science Congress. What is remarkable about Dr. Mashelkar is that even after his retirement, he has continued to be actively associated with scientific research, education, and innovation. And as the topic of today's lecture will testify, he is also an original thinker. Some people might wonder, what's the relationship between Gandhiji and engineering? I believe that Gandhiji's philosophy has immense relevance at a time when all of us in India and the world are debating and searching for ways to move towards sustainable development. There is widespread misconception that Gandhiji was opposed to science, technology, and machinery. Nothing can be farther from the truth. I shall close my introductory remarks, friends, by drawing your attention to a profound an unbelievably candid exchange of letters between Gandhiji and Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru in October-November 1945. Independence of India was drawing nearer. Gandhiji was worried that the Congress had not yet discussed India's policy for socio-economic development once Swaraj came. Gandhiji says, and it is he who initiated this exchange of letters between him and Nehru, he says that his views on this subject have not changed since he wrote Hind Swaraj way back in 1909. He reiterates his conviction in village-centric, decentralized development aimed first of all at empowering the poor and ensuring full employment to one and all. Above all, he insists on India recognizing the link between economic development and spiritual growth. And he says that this is what's going to distinguish India's development from the disastrous path taken by the West. In this long letter, he writes, and this is what I would like to quote, friends, to let us know what his views on science, technology were. He tells Pandit Nehru, "You must not imagine that I am envisaging our village life as it is today. The village of my dreams is still in my mind. After all, every man lives in the world of his dreams. My ideal village will contain intelligent human beings. They will not live in dirt and darkness as animals. Men and women will be free and able to hold their own against anyone in the world. There will be neither plague, nor cholera, nor smallpox. No one will be idle. No one will wallow in luxury. Everyone will have to contribute his quota of manual labor. I do not want to draw a large-scale picture in detail. It is possible to envisage railways, post and telegraph offices, etc." What struck me, friends, is that if Gandhiji way back in 1945 said that he welcomed railways, that he welcomed post offices, he welcomed the technology of telegraph, we can be sure that he would have certainly welcomed computers, the internet and the IT revolution. Indeed, every single advance in knowledge, scientific, technological knowledge that would contribute to the aim of more from less for more, which is the topic of today's lecture. Friends, before I call upon Dr. Mashelkar to come to the podium and deliver his lecture,